The customer has sent these pictures of a massive slice in the arm of a couch. If we're thinking about recovering the arm, that's out of the question. This material is no longer available. Not only that, but if you were to recover with new material, you would have to cover both couches because it's a matching set. There is no one else anywhere that can provide any answers for this. It's up to you. What will you do? What will you do? Of course, none of you were thinking about a sub-patch. We're not doing that anymore. We have the baseball stitch now, and I'm sure that many of you are contemplating that anyway. So that's pretty standard procedure at this point, so we'll breeze on through the baseball stitch. Notice I'm using a finer thread here, an industrial sewing machine thread on this finer fabric. You can see what appears to be cotton batting trying to protrude out of this slice. So we have to push that down and keep it out of the way. And the baseball stitch will have no trouble compressing that back into place. Usually lighting in a residence is rather poor for repairing, so a headlamp is a good idea. I have a couple on hand here in case the battery goes out in one of them. You can see that when we don't pull too tight, we don't have a pleat out the end. If we did have a slight pleat, that's going to be resolved when we iron over our stitching anyway. Also, with this lighter material, I have the freedom to use my thinner or lighter gauge curved needles. Aranita is with me today because this house has some historical significance. It's in a part of town that's dating back to the 1800s, and this is an old carriage house, so I brought her along for the experience. And she's able to work the camera for me. And just fair warning, we had a little problem with the camera at the end of the repair, but at least we get to see most of what's being done here. And don't forget here to finish it up, we're backtracking a little bit, sharing the holes like we do on the double needle blind stitch, and therefore we can come back and make our knot where it can be tucked into the slice. And the knot does not rest on the surface of the material. After tying the knot, I bury the tails a little further along so I'm not trimming them off too close to the knot. There you go. Here I've got out some colored fibers to choose from. I definitely want the lighter one, but there's a good bit of yellow present. And this gold 702 is going to give me the yellow I want. So I'll have to play around with the correct proportions. Of course, cleaning and prepping is necessary. My choice for repair here is a heat-cured compound that is pre-tinted. Depending on how much fiber is on top, that can be a real benefit. And of course, there is the ever-present challenge of keeping the repair area as small as possible. Yes, we have to blend out a little bit, but this is always tough to make sure we don't make too big of a mess, isn't it? The repair material that I've chosen is very sticky, and for the purpose that these fibers blown into it will stick better. And then you can tamp them into place, and everything gets embedded into the repair material. That's the plan. On your first pass ironing, I think it's a good idea not to dwell too long. Maybe see how well your fabric is going to take to ironing and how well the repair material is curing. This is laying out really nicely. It's a little bit dark here initially on this base repair. And that always does seem to be a challenge. You never know how it's going to iron out. At least everything is very nicely bonded and flat. At this point, we can target just those individual areas where we are lacking some filling. By doing a small area at a time as needed, we have more control on our repair. The first flocking I do want to keep isolated a little bit, and we'll blend it out in subsequent layers. Once our top coat adhesive is dried some, I do iron it down. And we get snippets of each of the flocking steps. And Arnita was so impressed with the repair that she thought that the camera was on when it was off and thought it was off when it was on. So as you can see here, we didn't get the shots we needed, but just subsequent flocking steps blended this in for the most part, and this is about the best we can do to hide this. So even though we missed a couple of shots, what do we learn from this repair? The advantages of the baseball stitch are that we have the strongest structural component. It's also flexible. The material is pulled back to its original location. We retain the original contour of the arm. And this stitch also compresses the foam or the backing material. And the material is back into its original tension. None of these would be possible with a subpatch. And some of the advantages of a heat cure compound in our base repair is that it's instantly cured with heat. We can pre-tint it to give us an advantage. The repair will be level, ironed. It will be flexible, it will be permanent, and it will be pre-flocked, giving us a head start so that the amount of flocking necessary to blend will be minimized. And in the flocking steps, we can put lighter mists, lighter fogging of the flocking in there with lighter mist also of the adhesive in alternate layers, just enough to hide and to blend. And before leaving, we switched couches so that the arm that was damaged would not be out in the lane of traffic. That's it for the repair, but in conclusion, I want to thank our viewers for reaching 10,000 subscribers, something we thought would never have ever been possible with this channel. When we started it, there was very little interest shown in any seminars, and we thought maybe we would have 100 subscribers total. In fact, it was on the night of our silver wedding anniversary that one of the Mars Nation guys put us to the number 10,000. And by the time we finished our meal, 10,001. Shout out to the Mars Nation guys. One of the anniversary presents was a jigsaw puzzle of one of our anniversary meals. And as you know, we have a big staff of writers here, and we challenged them to list the top 10 captions for this photo. Just making it to number 10, the caption, "We do the best jig you ever saw. That writer is out of here." Number 9, "You pick me up just to put me down." Number 8, I thought you'd never get it together. Number 7, I'm glad we finally linked up. Number 6 caption, my heart is in 4 pieces. Number 5, we fit so well together. Number 4, if you have to force it, it's wrong. Number 3, she's keeping tabs on me. Caption number 2, I'm keeping tabs on her. And coming in at number 1, that we've lasted this long, is a puzzle. Thanks for watching. We'll look for you next time.